Everybody, we're here with Hannah Barlow, Kane Senes, and Aisha Dee, and they just premiered a new film called SISSY at South by Southwest. You guys, how are you this morning?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. The movie is super cool. So I just need to know what inspired this movie. Like, where did the idea come from?
We all just looked at you.
It came from a combination of things. So childhood bullying, trying to respond to the traumatized inner child that still exists within you as an adult, and then watching sort of our generation deal with social media and the ramifications of that, and also the sort of con artists that slip through the cracks and emerge, like Belle Gibson, who's a big con artist in Australia.
And I think I got 5 young nieces, and I think for me, I feel like I'm going to sound so old here, but just seeing them idolize influencers and kind of thinking, but who are these people and who elevated them to that status that you are now influencing the minds of these young kids, and do we put these people on these platforms just because it's basically a glorified popularity contest? Do these people deserve to be there?
What are we worshipping?
Who are we worshipping? Yeah, and how dangerous is that if they're potentially the wrong kind of person to be worshipping?
And also the creepiness of just worshipping, filtered portfolios, essentially.
Yeah, worshipping a manufactured persona.
Yeah,
that is entirely unrealistic. It also touches on bullying. Would you say, like, the idolization of these people, and then how the people watching them can sort of bully them back?
Yeah, that's true. Like the kind of comments feed in on any page or any account is quite disturbing sometimes, like trolls.
But then also conversely, like just false, like the proselytizing that happens, and I'm sure, Aisha, you get that personally on your own social media.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't engage. I have to have like healthy boundaries with social media, which was something that I felt before doing the movie, but I think also doing SISSY kind of just reinforced this idea that social media is something that can have a really positive effect, as we see in SISSY, because she's created a community for herself there. And that's probably been what's gotten her through, life up until this point. And then it can also be like an addictive drug that, that you go to for your fix. Yeah. So, I mean, personally, I try not to engage too much, or I try to engage in ways that feel healthy for me. But even then, it's social media is quite a scary place for me personally.
Yeah. And there's a lot of deprogramming you have to do for yourself just to keep those healthy boundaries. So what were you guys looking for when you cast Aisha? What were you looking for in your lead?
Well, I think we were looking for someone who, felt a kinship with the character, because you obviously don't want anyone, not that I think that any self-respecting actor would play the villain, because obviously as an actor you don't think you are a villain. I don't even think you probably like calling her a villain now.
No,
I don't even think she necessarily is the villain in the film. I think there's many ways to look at it. I would actually probably argue that she's not, and that some of the other characters kind of end up being the villain. But I think we were just looking for someone that kind of could really connect with the character in that way, and kind of see her as, I don't know, as just a kind of traumatized little girl that kind of grew up and is lonely and kind of missing her best friend. And Aisha kind of really, from the second that we spoke to her, like the first Zoom that we had, she just really kind of related to that character. And I think it just suddenly kind of made a lot of sense. It was
Aisha like immediately was owning the role.
Yeah.
Before we even said, let's do this, she was like defending the character and protecting the character. And we were like, oh, Aisha's seeing this in a way that we didn't even perceive when we wrote, which was, you know, that's what you dream of as writers and directors, is that such a professional, incredible actor will like elevate your material and tell your story back to you, you know, which I think Aisha has done.
I wasn't even sure that they would want to work with me. I just was like, I just need you to know whether I'm part of this movie or not, I care about this bitch. Like, I know she's real. But yeah.
Well, what was the audition process like for you, Aisha? Can you tell us what it was like, and was there a point kind of where you knew you had it, or?
Well, initially, it was, you know, the year of 2020, which we all remember that year.
Hold on.
Yeah, a moment.
Let's not go back.
A moment for 2020. I was in the midst of like meeting on a few other projects at the time, actually, and they had sent me the script of Sissy, along with an offer to play Fran, who ended up being played by Lucy Barrett. And I read the script. Eventually, it did take me like a week to get to it because I was very busy at the time. I eventually got to read the script, and I called my manager and I just said like, oh, I love this. And I think Fran is really cool, but like, if I'm honest, I don't really feel emotionally like pulled to her. I said, I feel really, really pulled to Sissy. And I know that's very presumptuous, but
not at all.
I was like, whatever, just pass along the message to them, tell them I love the script, and that honestly, I felt more connected to Sissy than Fran, so, you know, whatever. And in my head, I was like, this is an Australian film. I can't think of a single other Australian film with a lead that looks like me. So my hopes were kind of like in the dirt for that. I just wanted to communicate, you know, and then they were like, they want to meet with you. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I still had very low expectations, but I was like, I'm glad they want to meet, because I have some things I want to say about my girl Sissy. And then it just kind of all happened.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was. I just immediately loved them so much, and I fell so fully in love with the script. Like, immediately, like the moment when Sissy gets her period, I think was the moment that I was like, yes, I love this movie. It's sick. Like, I was like, it's probably going to be really twisted, and I just knew in that moment that it was about to get kind of. It was exactly my sense of humor and like my sensibilities, as far as, because I am a horror fan, kind of a newer horror fan, but I love the genre, and yeah, I don't know, it all happened like pretty quickly, and
well, I as soon as I think we got off that call with you, I think it was pretty like apparent we were just kind of like, we're talking to someone that just is so connected to this role that it's like, how do you go backwards from that and then just start to talk to other actors? Like they've taken ownership of it straight away, like in one conversation. So it was pretty, I felt like it was a done deal pretty much. I feel, as soon as we spoke to you about it.
I mean, I was dying to cast Aisha in our movie, and so, you know, because I've been following her since she was like, what, 12 on the Saddle Club, and then Bold Type. I'm pretty sure everybody in Australia fell in love with her because, you know, she's so inherently likable. So yeah, it was just like, dream come true, tick, let's go.
And I think when you're watching an actor, sometimes, especially when they've been on a show, you're kind of advertised that actor in that role a lot, and you naturally just think of them in that role, and it's not really until you get to know the person or get to talk to them that you realize, oh, like, well, of course that's what they're doing. They're acting. They're playing one part of themselves, right? It might be 10% of themselves, or what about the other 90%?
Aisha's really a psycho.
Yeah.
That's what we realized.
We looked up her criminal record and said yes. So what was it like, Aisha, what was it like working with them as a writer director duo?
I mean, I feel like we all were in such a we only had 20 days to shoot the film, and basically because of, at the time in Australia there was a 2-week quarantine, so I was only able to get there with a very short amount of pre-production, and I know y'all also had very short pre-production. So luckily we were just all, I think, on the same page about everything, and anytime we weren't, it was always like a short, it had to be, because we didn't have any time. But we were so, I mean, at least I feel like we were also on the same wavelength about what the movie was, what we were doing there. You know, everyone knew what we came to do. So it just kind of flowed, maybe because it was always going to flow, or maybe just because of the circumstance. We were just, there was no time to like over rehearse or.
Right.
Well, and also Aisha's such a pro, which you didn't need much direction. She just she slammed it. There was 1 or 2 takes, moving on, and we're lucky that you just have such a strong backbone
and such a strong take on the character. Like if I think if you hadn't come in with a conviction as to who SISSY is, you know, that really helped us a lot, just to be able to kind of to play it that one way, but knowing that that's really the only one way to play it, because it's what naturally would come out each time.
Yeah.
We didn't really have to kind of discuss it and say, let's approach this scene from like a few different ways, because there just wasn't time.
She made us look really good.
No, but also the script on the page, like the script is one of my favorite things I've ever read. And like, I mean, I've lost count. Like you get sent so many auditions in a week, with scripts that you read and forget. But SISSY like sat with me, and I felt like it was like this animal that like crawled into my brain, and I just couldn't get it out of my head.
That is cool.
That's a cool line.
It's true. And so like the whole time I was just rereading the script, and like that was like the perfect framework. So we had a really good blueprint, I think, going into it, because Lord knows, like shooting an indie in Australia is like really tricky, but especially in 2020, you know.
SISSY infected me and I couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
So how exciting is it to actually finally, after all that you guys have been through with this project, having the film at South by?
It's a dream come true. Never ever thought I would be in this position in my entire life. So grateful. Can't believe it.
I think if we could have, like, I remember saying to Hannah, like early on, if we play at one festival, I kind of hope it's South by Southwest, just because we've been here before as fans. The audience, you know, they love their genre material. They show up, they support, they make noise in the screenings, you know, and so it's just kind of like it couldn't have been any more perfect. I don't think
it's a punk rock festival, so it just feels like it's a perfect fit. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I adore Austin. I've spent a lot of time in this city. Weirdly, something always pulls me back to Austin, and you know, I've fallen in love here a couple times, and I've fallen in love with the city, and so it's really cool to have the movie premiering here.
That's awesome. Well, you guys, congratulations on SISSY and getting to South by, and you know, best of luck on this release, and we just come back and give us some more stuff.
Thanks so much, Norman.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.